All right. And we are live with Kira Jones for the 2022 Tournament of Champions post show. I'm really excited to have you on as a guest. Kira, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good.
Great. I'm super glad that you could come on in the morning. I know that you have a busy day. You have school after this. So, a busy girl. Are you home right now?
Yes, right now I'm at my house.
Okay. You look like you have a beautiful training space behind you. Are those mats?
Yes, after COVID, we decided, with the school being closed, that we just kind of open our own little dojo space.
That's wonderful. No, it looks so good. My practice area is in the garage, and it looks absolutely nothing like your space behind you. So this is the post show for the Tournament of Champions. For everybody wondering, and Kira was really successful there. So why don't you tell everybody how you did?
So I did pretty good. I got first in all of my divisions, as well as winning both forms and weapons grants.
That's wonderful. And you're 17 years old, so that was the 17 and under grands. And what was the competition like at the tournament?
The competition was pretty good. There were some people that surprised me, like I'd never seen them before, and they did really, really good. Especially some of the younger kids. We had a lot of really good young competition.
Mhm. Yeah, now you compete on the local, the regional, the national, and the international level. It's not like you're reserved for one of the four. What's your experience been sort of fluidly competing throughout those?
So I've always noticed that local has a more familial feel to it. Everybody seems very close there, and when you're new, it's kind of like you're not in on the joke, but like they're still very kind and open to you. When
Mhm.
it gets to regional, it's you see a lot of the same people because a lot of people like to compete within like their states and their satellite states around them. With national and international, I see a lot of people that I've never seen before while seeing a bunch of the same people, and they all kind of have their own sects of what they like to do. I see more often in like regional and local that everybody does like all three divisions, fightings, weapons, and form. But whenever I get to like a bigger scale tournament like international or national, there's those people who do just forms or just fighting or just weapons.
Hmm. So, from your perspective, the Tournament of Champions, how did it run? Sort of the logistics on time as a competitor. Did you feel like you were waiting around? What was that like?
I didn't feel like I was waiting around. It ran pretty smooth actually. We left by like 5 p.m. being there for grants too.
Wow. Okay.
But the only thing that I think got a little hectic was just the separation of the boys and girls fighting. We suddenly had to go to a new ring because our ring had so many boys fighting. There were divisions up to 22 kids. So there's a lot of ring changing to accommodate for the rings who couldn't run the boy or the girl fighting.
Yeah, that sounds like sort of a good and bad thing for the tournament, right? Like having just so many competitors, so much competition that you have to do a quick adjustment to accommodate the amount of people that you have. And have you fought before? Why do I feel like I visualized you in sparring gear right now?
So I've always fought. What's funny is that was weapons was the last thing I actually started doing.
Okay.
Forms and fighting I've always done.
Yeah. So, I mean, you won all your divisions and you won the Forms and Weapons Grands. How does fighting play into your training and your competition vision now?
Fighting for me helps me with my cardio and it helps me be stronger in my forms because when I was younger, I always competed against boys. And when you're this prepubescent girl, the strength difference is really wide. So
Mhm.
sparring for me helped me develop strength and power and a presence in my kata rather than just being like a frilly girl doing a soft kata.
Mhm. Okay. And so you still train fighting, you still do it at the school. Is that correct?
So at my school, I actually don't do point fighting. I do kickboxing and MMA.
Mhm.
Point fighting is something that I almost never practice, oddly enough.
Mhm.
It's just whenever I feel like not doing kata or not doing weapons, I'm like, oh, I'll spar today.
Okay. It's always nice to have that in your arsenal, right? It seems like it comes out naturally.
Yes.
So you're wearing a Team K Talk shirt for no one who can see if you want to show it off. Um, I just wrote a profile on Sue Diaz that's coming out in the upcoming magazine. So for everybody watching, make sure that you go get that because Sue is a very interesting woman that many people don't know the various facets and sides of. So make sure just going to plug that magazine real quick. And so I have one of her team members, which is very cool. Now tell me how you got on Team K Talk.
So it was a funny story. I just got a nose piercing and we went to AKA. So I had to take it out for fighting. But I'm afraid of needles, so like I couldn't put it back in. So we start running to the bathroom and we just like bump into Sue at the door of the bathroom. And she had been my judge previously for forms and she was like, "Who are you? You're really good. Why do I not know who you are?"
Mm-hmm.
And so then we exchanged contact information, and from then on, we were just kind of floating around doing stuff with the team, but not being on the team.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like 6 months in, I was on the team.
That's so funny because there's some people on the circuit that just have a presence to them that you can recreate. Like you just now with Sue, like you could say, "Who are you? Why don't I know you?" It's a very Sue thing to say, or something like Mr. G, the way he talks. If you imitate him, you know who you're talking about. So Sue's a character. Also, a coach of your team is Rick Diaz, and someone very successful who I'm interviewing later today is Joey Castro. This is a whole K Talk moment right now. Um, but he's also your coach. Tell me a little bit more about your coach, Joey Castro.
Joey is, well, okay. I don't normally idolize people, but he was the first person I idolized because it was like the first forms competitor that I had seen go so far who was still actively competing.
Mm.
And so when I first met him, it was at AKA. Sue was like, "Do you want to meet Joey Castro?" And I was like, "Okay." But he's far more chaotic than I thought he was. I thought he was just like strict, like straight, puff chest dude who was just always had everything down. And
Mm-hmm.
as I got to know him, he's a wacky dad who likes to make a lot of dad
Oh
jokes.
my goodness. Okay, good to know.
And he's all around just a funny, lighthearted guy. He's really personable. You can get to know him and he'll sit there and he'll just like talk with the kids, not just coach them and then move on to his next lesson.
Okay. And he's also your teammate and coach. Is that dynamic maybe a little different than the dynamic that you might have with your other instructors?
Oddly enough, no. My instructors at my home dojo are kind of the same way, where while they're not competitors, they're my senseis and my friends. I've known them since I was 8. We've had potlucks together. We celebrated holidays together. And same thing with Joey. We celebrated a little bit of Christmas together. So it's all just like this big family
Mm-hmm.
rather than coach and student or coach and fellow competitor.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so now you are in the 17 and under bracket. That means that in that bracket, you are 17. So next year is the big change, the adult division, the women's division. How are you preparing? What's your mental like? I know we just started the season. It's only March. You have a lot of time to cherish your last moments. But are you thinking that far ahead?
I think I'm thinking that far ahead too far. I I keep trying to get my parents to just let me compete it as an adult because like I just want to do it because I've been competing for so long as a kid. I feel like I've got that down and I see it as an advantage to me to just get used to competing with the women because I'm already there. It's less than a year before I'm an adult. The Pan American tournament, the Pan Am Games, whatever I forget the name.
Pan
That's
American Internationals, Alex's tournament, and his
that's
daughter's.
that's on my birthday. So
Mm-hmm.
that tournament this year will be my first tournament as an adult, and I just want to get there fast.
Yeah, that's a tactic, a strategy that a lot of people I felt like employed when I was a junior as well. Wherever your birthday sort of let you turn to 18 and you had enough points potentially in the NASCA year to you that you've accrued over time, people would just make that switch because they're of your mentality as well. It's like a benefit as soon as possible to compete against the best of the best in the women's division, even if you're a newbie. And are you nervous in any way? Excited? What are the emotions around that switch?
I'm I'm not nervous. I think it's just a lot of excitement because I don't get anxiety around competing or my new competitors or people who I think are really good. I just only get anxious on, am I gonna mess up today? Like, how's this gonna go for me? And I'm very much more ready for just competing. It's not really anxiety or nervousness. It's just excitement.
Mm-hmm. Now, also, I mentioned for everybody watching that you have school at 12:45. You're in high school. Does that make you a junior or a senior? You should be, right? A
Mm-mm.
junior?
So I take a half college, half high school schooling program. So I'm a freshman in college and a junior in high school.
Very impressive. And so, do you plan on continuing? Maybe a silly question, but post graduation of high school, do you continue on the track of college?
Yes, so I plan to. This is my plan. Hopefully, it doesn't fall apart. To get my associates at the college I'm going to now, and then hopefully move on to Belmont. So that
Belmont University. I feel like is that in New York or New Jersey?
Nashville, Tennessee.
Nashville. Oh my God, because I know there's Belmont or maybe Belmar. Anyway, because I'm also from New Jersey. You're from New York, though, right?
No, actually, my whole team's from New York. I'm from Tennessee.
Okay. All right. Very cool. I've always wanted to travel to Nashville. Actually, I've been to Asheville, and I see the signs of Nashville that way. I don't know how far it is, but it seems like a great place to go. A lot of people have visited. But no, that's really exciting. What do you hope to study when you're there?
I want to get a doctoral degree in pharmacy. So
Mm, very
hopefully, I like biology. I like science. I like medicine. I even took Latin to, get a grip on some of the names of medicines. It's just something that I'm really passionate about. And for me, it's I can help people
mhm.
while helping bigger issues in the world in my small way.
That's really inspiring, Kira. And how do you sort of envision martial arts potentially or potentially not playing into your goals when you do? It's going to be rigorous. You've chosen a very difficult academic trajectory. So, how do you envision that playing in?
So I hopefully I can still compete. I do want to continue to compete, whether it's put a little pause on it and come back once I'm established in life, or do it whenever I can, or just like scale down a little bit. That's what I plan to do. But I mean, we have a great example, Jackson Rudolph, brain surgery. He wanted to do that, and he still, while he's retired, he still competed during that phase. And so
Mhm.
hopefully I can do the same with that.
That's great. Okay. Well, thank you everyone for watching. We've had a consistent amount of viewership. Your answers were amazing. It was a pleasure to interview you, Kira. And everybody, thank you for watching this morning. I have another show today at 2:10 exactly on the dot with Joey Castro, Kira's teammate and coach. Thank you again, Kira, and congratulations.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.